The day I got promoted, I found out my boyfriend had been sleeping with my best friend and using my apartment to do it. I walked in with a cake and saw them on my couch, laughing like I didn't exist. They said it didn't mean anything and I was being dramatic. Maybe I was. So I made sure to ruin both their lives, quietly, methodically. Now she's jobless, he's broke, and tonight, he texted me from a motel asking for a second chance. I almost replied. Almost. Because he still doesn't know what I did to him. Yet. If someone had told me my whole life would start unraveling over a pink couch, I would have laughed and poured them a drink. But here we are. The couch was this dusty blush velvet monstrosity I picked up secondhand when I first moved into my apartment. It looked like it belonged in a Pinterest fever dream, and everyone said it was hideous except for Drew. He said it was so me, whatever the hell that meant. Drew was my boyfriend of 3 years. The kind of guy who never liked posting us online because he wasn't into performative love, but also followed dozens of bikini models and forgot to tag me in vacation pics. He was charming in that barefoot at brunch, acoustic guitar at parties. Always late, but somehow you forgive him kind of way. And then there was Haley, my best friend since sophomore year of college. Smart, savage, always had perfect eyeliner and perfect advice. She'd been through 2 toxic exes and 1 engagement that ended in flames. And I was there for every breakdown, every bottle of wine, every "I swear I'm done with him" declaration. I loved her like a sister. I trusted her more than I trusted myself. So on the Friday I got promoted at work, a real promotion, not one of those "we're adding more responsibility without a title" scams. I decided to surprise both of them. Drew was off early. Haley said she'd swing by for drinks that evening. I told them I'd be home late and they should just hang out until I arrived. I picked up cupcakes from that overpriced boutique bakery Haley loved. Grabbed a bottle of Prosecco. Even stopped at Target for new throw pillows. Why? I don't know. I was in that giddy, everything's glittery mood. I wanted everything to look nice. Feel nice. I wanted to celebrate with my people. When I got home, the apartment door was cracked open. I remember thinking, maybe Drew forgot to shut it. He does that sometimes. The first thing I noticed when I walked in was that the cupcakes had fallen sideways in the box. The second thing I noticed was the sound. Breathy, soft, rhythmic. I didn't want to believe it. Not really. But my body already knew. I walked into the living room. There they were, on the pink couch. Her skirt hitched up, his hand gripping her thigh. Both of them mid-laugh, like they were watching a rom-com instead of ruining my life. They didn't even flinch when they saw me. No gasps, no frozen in guilt expressions. Haley looked me dead in the eye and said, "Shit, you're home early." That's what she said. Not, "I'm sorry," not, "This isn't what it looks like." Just that. I didn't scream. I didn't cry. I just stood there holding a crushed box of cupcakes and a Target bag with stupid gold pillows poking out the top. Drew pulled away from her like it was some kind of inconvenience. He didn't even button his jeans. "It's not a big deal," he said. "We were gonna tell you." I think that's when something inside me snapped, not in the loud, dramatic way, in the cold, quiet way. The kind of snap that doesn't heal. I left without saying a word. Dropped the cupcakes in the trash on my way out. Left the Prosecco in the hallway. Walked to my car with no plan, no destination, just this white noise in my chest. I drove for hours. Ended up parked outside a 24-hour diner at 1 a.m., watching drunk couples stumble out and laugh under flickering streetlights. I didn't cry. Still couldn't. I just sat there replaying everything in my head, his lazy indifference, her casual tone, that couch. I should have sold the damn thing months ago. My phone buzzed. It was a text from Haley. "I know this looks bad, but please don't throw away our friendship." It was just nothing at all. I stared at the screen. Nothing at all. Like I was some character in their messed up side plot. She thought this was salvageable. She thought I was the kind of person who forgives. That's when I started planning. Not revenge, not yet, just clarity. I was gonna play this smart, careful, quiet. Because if I was gonna be the villain in their story, I'd make it the best damn plot twist they never saw coming. The next morning hit different. You'd think I'd wake up, puffy-eyed, mascara streaks on the pillow, dramatic sobbing into a pint of ice cream. But no. I woke up in my car with a sore neck, 0 tears, and this icy calm that felt like someone else had taken over my body. Like the old me trusting me, soft girl me had packed her bags in the night and dipped. I drove home around 6 a.m. The sky was that hazy early morning blue, and everything looked too quiet, too clean, like the world didn't know it was supposed to be falling apart. The apartment was empty when I got back. Figures. Haley probably went home to pretend like nothing happened, and Drew, I don't know. Maybe he crawled into a hole or went to work like he hadn't just annihilated our relationship over what they did on my couch. I showered. Scrubbed every inch of myself like I was trying to erase them. And then, I sat on the edge of the bed and opened my notes app. Operation Let's Ruin Their Lives. I wasn't gonna scream, I wasn't gonna fight, I was gonna document every single thing, text messages, Photos, emails, timelines, anything that gave me receipts. And I wasn't gonna confront them. That would give them power, give them a chance to twist the narrative. Instead, I went ghost. Didn't block them. Didn't even respond. Just silence. Let them spiral. And oh boy, spiral they did. Drew texted first. Hey, can we talk? I think we owe each other a real conversation. Then Haley, 2 hours later. This is killing me. Please say something. I said nothing. By day 2, Haley messaged again. I know you hate me, but I miss you. I keep looking at my phone hoping you'll cuss me out or something. Anything. This silence is worse. Damn right it is. That same night, I decided to stop moping and start playing the long game. I made a list, changed my passwords, separate our shared Spotify and Netflix accounts, screenshot every dumb thing they ever said to me. Remember who TF I am. I wasn't gonna key cars or smash windows. I was going to ruin them in ways they wouldn't see coming. But before that, I had to get my apartment back. See, Drew had his name on the lease too, and he wasn't planning on leaving. I knew that because I came home after a short walk and found him on the couch. Yes, that couch eating cereal like he hadn't just detonated my entire world. He looked up and smiled, like we were just having a chill Sunday. I figured you'd need space, so I gave you a day, he said, like I should thank him. I stared at him. He added, we can talk now. I think we both overreacted. My jaw clenched so hard I thought my molars might crack. You cheated, I said, finally breaking the silence. He shrugged. Shrugged. It wasn't like that. You've been distant lately. Stressed. I didn't want to hurt you. I wanted to laugh. Didn't want to hurt me? So naturally, he boned my best friend. He went on like he was explaining why he forgot to take the trash out. It was a mistake. And honestly, Haley means nothing. It just happened. You were always my priority. I could have screamed. Could have thrown the cereal bowl across the room. But I didn't. Instead, I looked him dead in the eyes and said, you have 3 days to move out. He blinked. What? I already spoke to the landlord. Your name's being removed from the lease. 3 days. After that, I'm changing the locks. He tried to argue. He tried. But I was done playing the crying girlfriend. I was a whole new version of myself now. And I was done giving explanations. I slept at my friend Cam's place that night. He'd been my coworker turned hype man for the past 2 years. Totally platonic. But when I showed up at his door with overnight stuff and a bottle of wine, he didn't ask questions, just handed me a blanket and turned on RuPaul's Drag Race. Sometimes the safest people aren't the ones you've known the longest. They're the ones who say, you're staying as long as you need. No drama. Just snacks. Over the next 2 days, Drew tried guilt. He tried nostalgia. He even tried getting physical. I laughed in his face for that one. You really think I'd sleep with you after this? He said, it's just, you feel like home. I said, you treated home like a cheap motel, and now you don't have a key. On the 3rd day, he left. Didn't take much. Just a backpack, his guitar, and whatever dignity he had left. I deep cleaned the apartment that night, tossed the couch, scrubbed every surface, burned a sage stick like I knew what I was doing. The place smelled like lemon and resentment. But at least it was mine again. And then just when I thought things might start settling, the real bomb dropped. A friend from Haley's work DM'd me anonymously. The message just said, you didn't hear this from me, but you should probably check her office laptop. I stared at the screen. And that's when I realized. This wasn't just about what happened on that couch. Haley had been hiding something way bigger. I wasn't sure if I should believe the anonymous DM. I mean, office laptop? What could Haley possibly be hiding that was worse than sleeping with my boyfriend on my damn couch? But the message kept haunting me. I didn't even know what her work really was. She always called herself a freelance consultant, which could mean anything from running marketing campaigns to selling feet pics. I never pried. She was one of those I'll tell you when it's relevant kind of people, and I trusted her. Trusted. But now I was starting to question everything. So I did what any slightly unhinged, freshly betrayed woman would do. I broke into her apartment. Okay, not like, kicked the door down, broken. I still had her spare key from years ago. She never asked for it back. Classic Haley, always forgetting the little things. Her place was empty, probably out doing damage control or pretending she was the victim in this. I knew I had maybe 20 minutes max. My heart was thundering the whole time, but I moved fast. Laptop? On the kitchen counter. Unlocked. Like a gift from the petty gods. And what I found? Whew. Buckle up. She wasn't just a consultant. She was running ghost accounts. Literally managing fake online personas for dudes trying to manipulate their girlfriends' DMs, fake screenshots, coordinated accidental messages. Like some twisted PR agency for scumbags. There were folders named after her clients, templates for gaslighting apologies, pre-written excuses. Even a pricing sheet. Silver package $149, custom fake screenshots, DM management for up to 2 social media apps, personalized apology letter, platinum 399, all of the above breakup script, coaching 3-week emotional distance planning, girlfriend tracking spreadsheet. What the actual hell? She was literally monetizing manipulation. And guess who had his own folder? Giroux 2023 inside screenshots of me and Drew's convos with notes. A document titled, Excuses She'll Believe. A Google sheet labeled Phase Out Plan. I almost threw up. This wasn't some spontaneous betrayal. They'd been planning this. Like it was a damn project. Like I was a client deliverable, to be wrapped up and filed away. And the worst part? They'd been laughing about it. I found a message Haley had written to him. Don't worry, she's easy. Say you feel emotionally blocked, and she'll take the blame. Classic good girl guilt trip. I sat there, hands shaking, reading my own breakdown designed by my best friend and the man I thought I'd marry. That's when I stopped crying. Because I knew exactly what to do now. I copied everything, uploaded the entire hard drive to a private folder, took screenshots of every file. I even screen recorded myself scrolling through her shady-ass packages. With timestamps. Receipts? Oh baby, I had a library. I locked her laptop, left it right where I found it, and dipped like a ghost. She wouldn't even know I'd been there until it was too late. I went home, shut all the blinds, made a giant iced coffee with way too much sugar, and started planning phase 2. Not just revenge. Exposure. This wasn't personal anymore. She was hurting other women. Manipulating lives. Turning heartbreak into a business model. And I was done being collateral damage. But first, I needed backup. So I texted Cam. Hey, got time for something kinda illegal but morally justifiable? He replied in 0.2 seconds. Say less. Be there in 10. I swear, everyone needs a Cam. I told him everything. Showed him the files. His face did that slow, horrified jaw drop. Dude, he whispered. She's like, an evil tech bro. Exactly. He helped me clean the files, organize them by type, redact sensitive client info, but leave just enough to prove what kind of twisted game she was playing. We even found a folder labeled Potential Risks with my name in it. Underneath, a single bullet point, might go nuclear if she finds out. Avoid confrontation. Redirect guilt. Redirect guilt. I laughed so hard I cried. Because now, I was nuclear AF. But here's the best part. Inside her client's folder, there were names. Names of people I knew, men with girlfriends, women I'd met at brunch. One of them was a public figure. Blue check. Woke feminist podcaster. Engaged. This was bigger than I thought. Cam looked at me and said, "You're sitting on a scandal." And I knew he was right. But I wasn't just gonna drop it and walk away. No. I was going to use it. All of it. Because if Haley wanted to play games, it was time for me to flip the whole freaking board. The thing about betrayal is, it gives you tunnel vision. Everything else fades. Friends, work, eating actual meals you start living for the moment they realize you're not the same girl they betrayed. And trust me, I wasn't. I was in full-blown mastermind mode. Cam and I didn't rush it. No rage posts, no screaming matches. We were smarter than that. This wasn't gonna be some messy Insta-war. No, this was going to be surgical, professional, devastating. First step, we created an anonymous account. Blank profile pic. Burner email. No links to me, Cam, or anyone in our circle. We titled the account, The Confessional Files. And our first post? A 3-minute screen recording. No narration. Just Haley's folders opening, one by one. File names. Client numbers. Payment screenshots. Message templates with names blurred out except one. Drew 2023. We didn't even tag anyone. We just posted it on TikTok with the caption, "Ever wondered how men get away with cheating and make you feel crazy? Turns out, some of them pay someone to help." Here's how. Within an hour, it hit 10K views. By morning, 94K. By the next day, 600K. Then it hit Twitter, Reddit, Instagram. People were losing it. Girls in the comments were like, "This is why I kept second-guessing myself. I swear someone did this to me in 2021. I would sell a kidney to know if my ex was one of her clients." And then the real juicy part happened. People started coming forward. One girl said her boyfriend had used identical phrases to those in Haley's templates. Another posted a screenshot from her ex word for word the same apology in Haley's silver package file. And then came the biggest drop. Someone, no idea who, probably a pissed off former client, leaked Haley's full pricing sheet on Reddit, including her payment handle and her name. That's when it all blew up. Her name started trending locally. People dug up old tweets. Someone even posted screenshots from her IG stories where she joked about helping a friend get rid of his crazy ex. Crazy ex, that was me. She tried to do damage control, of course. Posted a story saying, "I'm being harassed by trolls. None of this is true. please respect my privacy during this time. And then, silence. Her comments got turned off. Her website went down. Her Venmo got flagged. She went from boss babe manipulator to digital ghost in 24 hours. And Drew? Oh, sweet dumb Drew. He texted me at 3 a.m. You need to take that SHT down. You're ruining people's lives. I read it 3 times before replying. You hired someone to manipulate me and then messed around with her on my couch. I don't think I'm the one who ruined lives here. He didn't respond. But the next day, he showed up at my apartment building. I was watching from my window when he buzzed. I didn't answer. He kept buzzing. Then started calling. I finally picked up. He said, I made a mistake, okay? I panicked. Haley told me it was normal. Like, that guys do this kind of thing to avoid fights. I didn't know it'd go this far. I stayed silent. He added, can we just talk? I feel like I'm losing everything. And that's when I smiled, really smiled, for the first time in weeks. Because he was right. He was. I'm busy, I said. Try again, never. Click. I muted him. Not blocked. Muted. Because I wanted to see his slow descent, wanted to watch it. But that wasn't even the best part. No, the best part came 3 days later when I got an email. From a journalist. Subject line, seeking comment. The confessional files scandal. They wanted to talk. Said they were putting together a piece on online manipulation, tech-facilitated emotional abuse, and how women are fighting back. They didn't know it was me. Not yet, but I knew this was my moment. Not to be famous, not for clout, but to own my narrative, to go from crazy girlfriend to the woman who ended a scam empire. I stared at the email for a long time. Then I typed, I'll talk. Off the record for now. Because this wasn't over. Not by a long shot. I met the journalist at a painfully aesthetic cafe. You know the type, minimalist everything, oat milk only. Plants hanging from the ceiling like it's the damn Amazon. The kind of place Haley would have called a vibe. I wore all black. Not for drama. Okay, maybe a little, but mostly because it made me feel like a shadow. Like I was showing up for war. The journalist's name was Rhea. Late 20s. Tiny hoop nose ring. The kind of sharp, steady presence that makes you want to spill your entire life story over a latte. Which, let's be real, was exactly what she wanted. I appreciate you reaching out, she said, clicking her pen. What you sent us, it's big. I nodded but didn't say anything. She continued, if you're ready to go on record, I think this could be more than just a column. This is a feature. My heart was pounding, but I kept my face cool. Before we talk on record, I need guarantees. No names unless I approve them. Nothing that ties back to my work or family. This isn't about fame, she smiled. It's about the truth. No, it was about power. But sure, let her believe in truth. I told her everything. Not all at once, but enough. How the betrayal started. The files. The DM. The burner account. How widespread it was. How many women were affected without even knowing. How Haley had monetized manipulation and cloaked it in buzzwords like emotional intelligence coaching. And then I dropped the bomb. I have the names of some of her clients. One of them's engaged, one's a therapist. Another? Politician's son. Rhea blinked. You're kidding. I never kid about emotionally unavailable men. She laughed. I didn't. Cam helped me clean the files again before handing over the evidence. We blurred names that didn't need to be dragged, redacted anything that could hurt innocent women. I wasn't here to create collateral damage, just the targeted kind. Rhea took it all. And a week later, it dropped. The business of breaking women. How one woman turned emotional abuse into an online empire. They didn't name Haley, but they described her well enough that people who knew. And guess what? It went viral again. Podcasts picked it up. Influencers posted storytime reactions. Twitter lost its damn mind. Even BuzzFeed wrote a spin-off, 7 Signs You Might Have Been Ghost Coached and Didn't Even Know It. I should have felt vindicated. But it wasn't satisfaction I felt. Not entirely. It was this strange, bittersweet ache. Because yeah, I'd gone nuclear. I had taken down Haley, exposed Drew, ignited a conversation. But none of it undid the betrayal. None of it made the couch disappear from my memory. None of it gave me back the version of myself who believed people wouldn't hurt you just because they can. That night, I was lying on Cam's couch, his. Not mine, obviously, when he asked, so, what now? I stared at the ceiling. I don't know. Maybe therapy. Maybe travel. Maybe I just keep burning down the internet. He grinned. Revenge blogger era? I shrugged. Could be fun. But the truth? What I really wanted was peace. Real peace. Not the fake kind that comes from revenge or clout or clapbacks. The kind where I could sit in a room by myself and not feel hollow. I wasn't there yet. But I was closer. A few days later, I got a DM from an account with no profile pic. You ruined everything. I hope you're happy. I didn't even have to ask who it was. I just typed one sentence. "Don't worry, I'm not done yet." And hit send. I thought the hard part was over. I mean, Haley was outed. Drew was jobless and publicly humiliated. The couch was dead and gone. I'd exposed a whole-ass micro-industry of emotional manipulation. My DMs were full of thank you messages, podcast invites, and even one woman who said I didn't know how much of myself I'd lost until your post made me look back at my last relationship. I cried for 2 hours, and then I blocked him. Thank you. I should have felt like a hero, but I didn't. I felt tired, like my body finally realized it had been sprinting on rage fumes for weeks and now wanted to lie down in the middle of the street and just stop existing for a sec. Cam noticed. Of course he did. He invited me over one night with the promise of wine and zero drama. "You need a reset," he said, passing me a glass of red and turning on Bob's Burgers. A real one, not the "I'll just work harder and ignore my emotions" type. I rolled my eyes but didn't argue. Because yeah, he was right. I'd built my whole personality around surviving the fallout. I didn't even know who I was outside the wreckage. That night, after too much wine and a half-hearted attempt at deep life reflection, I got curious. I hadn't checked Haley's socials in a while, and a tiny, toxic part of me wondered what rock she was hiding under now. So I peeked. And guess what? She rebranded. New account. New name. New bio. Helping women reclaim their power through radical accountability DM for coaching inquiries. I laughed so hard I almost choked on my drink. "She's trying to pivot to healing coach?" I shrieked, showing Cam her profile. He blinked at the screen. Nah, no FC King way. But oh yes, way. Same face. Same energy. Just a new scam. Her captions were full of "Your trauma isn't your identity," and "Stop playing the victim, start owning your energy." Haley, the woman who literally built spreadsheets on how to emotionally dismantle girlfriends. I was furious. Again. But this time, it didn't light a fire. It felt like trying to ignite a match in a rainstorm. "Let her dig her own grave," Cam said. "Anyone who gets close enough will smell the bullshit eventually." He wasn't wrong, but it still pissed me off. And then came the plot twist I didn't see coming. I got an email from a woman named Jordan. The subject line, "She did it to me too." I opened it instantly. She was one of Haley's friends from her old life, same college, same social circle. She'd watched everything unfold from the sidelines. I always knew she had this manipulative streak. But what she did to you, that was next level. And now she's doing the same thing again, just wrapped in crystals and affirmations. She attached screenshots, a group chat. Haley talking SHT about her new clients behind their backs, making fun of their trauma. Saying things like, "She paid $200 for a journaling session and cried when I told her she was the problem. Easy money." That was the moment I knew I wasn't done. Not for revenge, but for the other girls. Because Haley didn't just hurt me, she was still hurting people. Preying on their vulnerability. Turning healing into a hustle. I couldn't let her slither away again. So I posted one last time on the confessional files. Just a screenshot of Haley's new account next to her old package pricing. A collage. No names. No rage. Caption. "When they burn the house down and sell the ashes as sage." It hit harder than anything before. Because by then, people knew. They remembered the name. The vibe. The lies. And this time, the betrayal wasn't juicy or shocking. It was just plain cruel. The rebrand collapsed in less than 48 hours. People started tagging her, dragging her, sharing their stories. One girl said she paid $300 for shadow work coaching, and Haley told her she was addicted to playing victim. Another posted a Venmo refund request with the note, "For the healing you faked." Haley deleted her account. Again. And this time, I didn't cheer. I just closed my laptop and went for a walk. It was late. The air was crisp. And for the first time in forever, I wasn't angry. I was just quiet. It was weird. Waking up and not checking my phone for drama. No angry texts. No apology bombs. No DM leaks. No burner accounts. No last minute "please hear me out please" from broken boys with savior complexes. Just silence. And for once, it felt safe. It'd been 3 weeks since the final post on the confessional files. Haley had gone full digital ghost again. Drew hadn't resurfaced since his motel meltdown. And I was starting over. But not in the dramatic new haircut, new city, new me kind of way. I didn't run off to Bali, or start a jewelry business, or fall in love with some flannel-wearing dude who called me darlin'. No. I started small. I cleared out my apartment, tossed stuff that reminded me of them, Drew's dumb novelty mugs, Haley's old wine glasses, even a few shirts I used to wear just because he liked them. I made space. Physically. Emotionally. Digitally. I stopped stalking their socials, unfollowed mutuals, turned my phone grayscale so I wouldn't waste hours doom scrolling. And then I did something I never thought I'd do. I started therapy. Not the trendy kind you half-ass on an app, real therapy. I found a woman named Ava, mid-40s, calm voice, intense eyes. The kind of person who could read your whole life story in a 3-second pause. Our first session? Brutal. She asked, "What are you afraid will happen if you stop being angry?" And I froze. Because the truth? Anger had been keeping me alive. If I stopped being mad, I'd have to admit how much it actually hurt. How much I missed the idea of them. The fake comfort. The routines, the brunches and movie nights and shared playlists that now felt like weapons. But slowly, week by week, the anger loosened its grip. I started journaling again, not for content. For me. I made a playlist called Soft Girl Era, with 0 rage songs, just warm, easy melodies I could listen to without reliving every betrayal. Cam was still around, of course. We had this new rhythm, now comfortable, platonic, supportive. He'd text me weird memes at 3 a.m., or show up with snacks when I didn't ask. Sometimes we'd stay up late talking about life, trauma, trust, love. All the stuff I used to avoid because I didn't want to feel stupid for believing in it. One night, he said, "You ever think about dating again?" I almost choked on my cookie. "Absolutely not," I laughed. "I'd rather lick a subway pole." But later, in bed, staring at my ceiling, I let myself wonder, what if? Not now, not soon, but eventually. What if there was someone out there who didn't manipulate, gaslight, or cheat? Someone who didn't make you question your sanity, or turn your best friend into a side piece? Was that real, or just a myth sold to us between commercials? I didn't have the answer, but for the first time, I didn't flinch at the thought. A few days later, something unexpected happened. I was standing in line at a little coffee shop, new one, cute barista, amazing chai lattes, when a girl tapped my shoulder. "Sorry," she said. "This is weird, but were you the one behind the confessional files?" My stomach flipped. I hesitated, then nodded, barely. She smiled. "I thought so. I wanted to say thank you. I was in something like that. I didn't know how bad it was until your posts made it click." She paused, then added quietly, "I left him 2 weeks ago." And just like that, I started crying. Right there in the middle of the cafe line. Mascara smudging, people awkwardly avoiding eye contact, barista calling out iced oat milk for sad girl. But it wasn't embarrassment, it was release. This stranger was free. And I'd helped. Me. Not angry me, not broken me, just me. That night, I went home, made a giant bowl of pasta, put on a ridiculous face mask, and started building a website. Not for revenge, not for clout, for healing. A digital space where women could share their stories, drop anonymous red flags, post emotional receipts, and most importantly, feel seen. Because I'd learned something big. When you go through hell and make it out the other side, you don't owe anyone your peace. But if you choose to share it, you can give someone else the map. Launching the website wasn't glamorous. There was no big reveal, no press coverage, no viral spike. Just a single post on a burner Reddit thread, a few DMs to women who'd reached out to me before, and a quiet URL tucked into my bio, www.theconfessionalspace.org. No .com, some crypto bros were squatting on it, naturally. The first week, 5 women posted. Anonymous. Raw. Brutal in that deeply honest way that makes you hold your breath while reading. One story was from a woman who found out her fiancé was cheating with her sister. Another was about a girl whose boyfriend convinced her she was overreacting for crying during a panic attack. There were messages, screenshots, audio clips. Some people just wrote, "I don't know if this counts as abuse, but I'm tired of feeling crazy." That one gutted me. It reminded me too much of myself, the before version. The one who thought love meant tolerance, and that speaking up made you dramatic. But I wasn't that girl anymore. And slowly, steadily, other women were starting to realize they didn't have to be, either. Around that time, Cam started acting weird. Not bad weird, just different. He'd linger in conversations a little longer. Text goodnight with a heart emoji that wasn't ironic. One night, he asked if I wanted to go to this pop-up art thing downtown, just us. I said yes, and then panicked for 3 straight hours. I didn't know what it was. A date? A friend thing? Emotional purgatory? We ended up at this warehouse-turned-gallery filled with neon lights, sad poetry projected on walls, and people who looked like they hadn't blinked since 2014. I felt awkward at first, hyper-aware of everything. My hair, my shoes, the fact that I was out in public with someone who had seen me ugly cry into nachos. But then Cam leaned close and whispered, "This is the most aggressively pretentious thing I've ever seen. and I burst out laughing. Like, real laughing. The kind that makes your chest loosen. We sat on a bench next to a sculpture made of expired yogurt containers and just talked. About nothing. About everything. About how healing isn't linear, and sometimes you still crave people who broke you. Then, out of nowhere, he said, "I like you, and my brain short-circuited. I opened my mouth to say something, but he cut me off. "I don't need an answer, I just wanted you to know. No pressure, no weird expectations. I just think you're kind of amazing. Kind of amazing." Me. The girl with a trauma folder and trust issues and a recently murdered pink couch. I didn't say anything right away. Just stared at him with my whole soul glitching like a broken iPhone. Because part of me wanted to run. Like, full sprint. Hide behind the familiar chaos of betrayal and cynicism. But the other part, the one that had survived everything, she stayed. We didn't kiss that night. We didn't even touch. Just walked to his car in silence. Music low, city lights washing over us like a reset button. Before I got out, I turned to him and said, "I don't know if I'm ready." He smiled soft. "Sure, I'll wait." And he did. No pressure, no guilt, no passive-aggressive up texts, just consistency. And damn, that hit harder than any love bomb ever could. A few weeks later, I got another email. Different tone this time. Professional. Polished. It was from a nonprofit that supported victims of emotional abuse. They'd seen my site. They wanted to collaborate, maybe co-host a digital event, maybe feature some stories with permission on their platform. "Your space is helping people," the email said. "We think you're the real deal." I sat there staring at the screen, tears welling up. Because I never meant to be anything. I didn't set out to become a voice, or a figure, or even a survivor advocate. I was just a girl with a crushed box of cupcakes, and a broken heart, and too many damn screenshots. But here I was, building something from the wreckage. Not despite the pain, but because of it. And just when I thought life couldn't get more full circle, guess who popped back into my inbox? Drew. Subject line, "I miss you." I didn't even open it. I just stared at it for a second, smiled, and hit delete. No rage, no curiosity, no hate, just nothing. And I realized that was the most powerful thing of all.